Howdy, y'all. Hello. Uh-oh. Howdy, y'all. Can you hear me now? I guess not. Hello. Can you hear me now? Wingspan, can you hear me? Hello, Allie. Thank you for being here. All right, because I wasn't sure because everything wasn't working right. StreamYards has been doing some weird things lately. Hey, Miss Bonnie. Welcome home. Well, you're not home yet, but welcome in here. It's good to see you. Um, I have a few shout outs. Some of y'all know that the last 3 years I've been going through cancer. Um, a little over 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic cancer. We won't discuss where it was at because it was all disgusting. Anyway, um, while I was going through treatment at my sickest, a young lady that used to live, a young woman that lived down the street, offered to help me out. I wouldn't have made it without her help. Thank you. Hi, Linda. Thank you for being here. Anyway, this young woman helped me through some really tough times. She's my newest subscriber. She's not here tonight, but this is my shout out to Miss Tina. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Anyway, guys, just so you know, I'm right here. Good to see you, Linda. Wingspan, you got to be careful, honey. Don't be taking falls like that, okay? Just to put that on the record. Daisy May, I kind of figured he would be. Thank you, Daisy May. Anyway, it's been kind of wild around here the last few weeks. We're having a heat wave. Expected to be in the 90s by Sunday. If anybody understands what the Southwest is like, I mean, so well, let's start with some more shout outs. I started to say this last week and changed my mind. I had something a little more important on my mind at the time, but I've been involved and watched, consumed as a YouTube consumer, a lot of the First Amendment auditors, the civil rights people. My first shout out is going to be to Clearly Established. I like the man's style. He's a good civil rights attorney. Then you have in West Virginia, I can't remember his name, but he's the civil rights lawyer, all on YouTube. There's also Southern Draw Law. Yes, I knew it was going to be that hot down there, Bonnie, but they, you just stay cool, Miss Bonnie. Your house is under control. I got this. Anyway, there's been a lot of them that have been out there for a long time that aren't there anymore. I mean, some of you are familiar with the name Eric Brandt. He's been doing time in prison. There are others out there who have gotten themselves into trouble. into the good kind of trouble, in my opinion. Thank you, Wingspan. I really appreciate you doing what you're doing. There's a few others here I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Um, he's he's working on he's working on being out, Allie. He's working on being out. Anyway, it does take that kind of civil rights activism takes a toll on you. And there's one who just hung up his cameras, all of his equipment after going on tour with Otto the Watchdog. He's been at it for a long time and it's cost him a lot, but he's still at it. He's not about to quit yet. But there are people out there who have, like TX Sheepdog 72. He hung up his camera and went back to driving a tow truck. There are others out there that have just hung up their camera gear, like Philip Turner in Texas. Um, he got his case made case law for the Fifth Circuit, Texas, Louisiana, and I can't remember part of Oklahoma. Anyway, uh, Turner versus Driver. Hey, Robert, thank you for joining us from across the pond. I appreciate you being here, bud. The one guy I'm trying to allude to did one right up the road here and made this marshal in my home county look like a total idiot. It was awesome. Just completely flipped the script on the guy and blasted him. The man I'm talking about is goes by the YouTube name of James Freeman. His fake news network channel is still there, but yes, you can still get to the Batosai. Thank you. Thank you, Wingspan. The Batosai was Philip Turner. Another civil rights channel I would like to bring up, like I said, was clearly established. I don't know if that one went up there, but I like the man's style. I like where he's going with it all. There are things that are happening in our world that I see happening, and I don't know if you were there, Wingspan, or not. A part of me watching all of these different civil rights channels and being a part of that community. I mean, I'm honored to be a part of the community. People starting to recognize me. Someone I've been watching for a very long time has decided to start opening his eyes as well. I've been saying this for a long time. They're all missing the mark. We're watching a symptom, not the cause. It's kind of like modern medicine. They'll treat the symptom, but not the cause. It's just the way they do things, which is all backwards. I like I like James Freeman myself, Daisy May. He just word saddled like you wouldn't believe, and sarcasm, just the satire is just something else. I used to watch another one from California that they used to run together for a while with Eric Brandt. Was a man by the name of they call him, his channel name was Johnny 50. Funny guy, intelligent, sharp as a tack. Went through all kinds of losses in his life. His wife, a bunch of other things went crazy in his life. He still kept at it. He finally hung it all up because he started having health problems of his own. I hope you're feeling better, Wingspan. I really do. I've been meaning to send you an email, but to answer that email that you sent me a while back, but I haven't had time to even answer the ones I'm supposed to be answering. I've been really busy. Anyway, um, we have a war going on in the Middle East, the Strait of Hormuz. There are things that are happening in our world that are making me wonder, are we missing the mark? Here's another channel for you, Wingspan. Eric Brandt was the one working on jury nullification. There was an older man, I can't remember his name either, but he did jury nullification. You're right. Um, and I like Johnny 5-0. He was awesome. But there are things happening in our world. We're running out of time. The little guys, we're all running out of time. And I'm not just trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist. I was raised to think for myself. I was raised to see what's behind that curtain by people who knew what was behind that curtain. There are things that are happening right now. There's a big there's wealth. What is commonly considered wealth is being hoarded. That wealth is being used to buy things that, if the world goes upside down, which space weather news is a good place to start with all of that, and their Earth disaster series. There's a bunch of it going on, and it's been around. They've known about this since the mid '50s. Um, Anybody watched that one with Woody Harrelson? I can't remember the name of the movie with Woody Harrelson. He played a what everybody called a crackpot radio disc jockey. That's all these conspiracy theorists talk about Dr. Charles Hapgood and his Earth crust dysplasia theory. Well, they've known about all that and what causes all of that and what has caused that in the past. Every organized religion on the planet remembers a flood, like Noah's flood. Thank you, Wingspan. You're awesome. Most of these oligarchs, these people, these billionaires, money in the first place is just a social agreement. It ain't worth the money. It ain't worth what it's printed on. That piece of paper and ink, we agree what it is worth. That gold coin or that silver coin, that's something that all of us humans agree that's worth something. And we agree on what it is worth, what it will buy you, what it will get you in return. We can trade that coin, we can trade that piece of paper for things like groceries, food that they're poisoning us with. I've got my second year on my garden already. Second year. Planted it once. All my vegetables that I planted with heritage seeds, they're coming back this year. I don't have to plant them again and again and again and go buy the seeds. Hey, Joko, it's good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. You're partially right, Daisy. They're building their own underground bunkers. Some of them are being real stupid about it, but you can do this for yourself too. They're saying only about 3 to 5% of the population will survive what's going to happen in the next 30 years. 30 years, and that's the far side of this. I won't live that long, but I know people who will. Like my first shout out, Miss Tina. She will live that long. We need to teach our children the old way, word of mouth, not something that's written down in a book. Common sense comes from other places. Common sense in our world, they've tried very hard to vanquish, to put it away. We don't want you to think for yourself. That's what that's what Mr. Rockefeller did over 100 years ago when he set up the public education system, the college system, the medical industrial complex was basically started by Rockefeller and the Rockefeller Foundation. It's all a part of the homework. I wish you all would watch some of these videos that I recommend. Follow the money. I've always said, follow the money. Always said, follow the money. That's a bad, nasty rabbit hole because it's got branches everywhere. And there's a snake hiding usually in each one of them. So I'm going to name some snakes today and give you guys a little bit of homework. Um, does anybody know when does anybody know when the the Federal Reserve Act was ratified? I'll tell you, my father was 12 years old. It was a little over 100 years ago. 1913, banking in America changed to a central bank, which had already been rejected 3 times before. We don't want a central bank. We just want you to cover it with bonds, US Treasury bonds. That's how our money was covered before the central bank or the Federal Reserve System was enacted. Homesteading is what part of my family heritage, Daisy. Um, my mother's farm, it's been in the farm my mother was born on, has been in her family for 8, 9 generations now. It's been around for a while. We need to know the old ways. You're right, Daisy. We also need to know the right ways. But back to 1913, a group of bankers, at the behest of a senator, a New York senator, offered up his private rail car to take these 9 men, to a place called Jekyll Island. They go to Jekyll Island for 12 days. They're supposed to be on a getaway. They get there and come back with the plan for what is now the Federal Reserve. It's how we got money. And then Richard Nixon made sure we didn't have any money in gold or silver. He completely took all of it, all of the connections between the two away from it. So hold on here. I'm going to do this. Wrong tab. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to start with this. This is the title of this video. Yeah, the creature, yeah. This is the title of this video, and the channel that this video is from, uh, that one, Control V, that one, wrong. So this one right here, the entire history of the House Rothschilds. It's a sanitized version. I've watched it, but I I would recommend looking for more. The more you learn about a specific subject and you get it from different sources, you might pick something else up that one of these people did not pick up. And you can do your own verification on the new information if you'd like, if you understand how to do that. That's kind of what I used to do, is research news stories just for the fun of it sometimes. Found ways around a lot of things that way, but that one right there will teach you about some of the money, just some of the money. That's just one little piece of the puzzle. There's over 300 families, and I'm still looking for that source that says that there's 300 families. There's a good book right there, Robert. Good. That's a good one. Yes, that that is a good one. Anyway, there's like 300 families. Brandon's here. Thank you, Brandon, for showing up. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. Anyway, they're the people pulling the strings. A lot of us know the names of the new money out there, but we don't know the names of all of them. But when I find this one video I found that I know the author's name, I'm just having trouble with it because I'm just a scatterbrained little old man. I uh, I will share that with you guys as quickly as I can. Brandon, it is good to see you. So that was the first one. There is another one that is a part of what I would like to show y'all, and it has to do with the reset of 1913. And we'll start that here. This will tell you the channel it comes from. I want you to know where to look for this. You're going to find other channels that'll have the same story. You want to take, most of it is sanitized by time, but it's and time, as you all know, history's written by the victors. History's written by the people who are in power. Um, as a prime example, I'm not getting political here, I'm just using it as an example. They tried to remove from the history classes at the Air Force Academy the story of the Tuskegee Airmen. Why? Because some feel it was a failed experiment written by the victors. Doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican, red or blue, left or right, just two different wings on the same bird. I agree with Cliff. Yeah, we all do need to get back to basics in our world. Sorry for the distraction, something just over here. I I'm just trying to find a way to get my message across without sounding like I'm touched. The big picture is a part of that, but I've already been slapped with a few warnings. Anyway, these stories, like the reset of 2013 or 1913, 2013, yeah, well, 1913, my father had been in the United States. He immigrated from Italy, took a ship from Naples, Italy, immigrated to the United States in 1912. He was 10 years old. He'd been in the States for 1 year. My father, biological father, the little bit that I knew of him, this is one of his stories. What he watched as a 10-year-old kid, he watched everything change and watched his family struggle through the change in the streets of New York City. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Anyway, I guess I've gotten my point across here. There are a few news channels, current news channels I'd like to shout out. Deltafino Media in Texas. I like the man's style. He's an Emmy Award winning newsman. You don't take no guff. No, Bonnie, but I'll work on that for you. Okay. His story exactly, exactly, Daisy. No, Miss Bonnie, I'll look into that for you, though. I promise. I'll let you know where to find that one. I'll have that one all lined up for you when you get home. Anyway, you just enjoy yourself down there. Um, be safe, all of you. Thank you all for being here tonight. And Wingspan, you brought up Matt last time, just as I was signing out. I did catch that. Matt's not here tonight either because it's it's spring training, baseball opening season. He's 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 playing. He's sitting in the stands watching baseball game right now. I wish I was there with him. But anyway, guys, thank you for the time that you take out of your day to come and see me and listen to what the. There is one more shout out. I was impressed with him the other day, and I want everybody to understand he's seeing things for what they are. He's one of the many people I've been watching for many years in the civil rights community, the First Amendment auditing community His channel name is San Joaquin Valley Transparency. The man's got about 5 or 6 other channels. His kids got channels. He and I kinda threw a few things together in one of his lives the other day, and it was a pretty good conversation. I don't know yet, Wingspan. I'm still working on that. Hold on a second. No, I had a sneeze coming, and I didn't wanna do that on the camera. I don't know how she's doing, but I'm trying to find out. But thank you for that one, Wingspan. I'll get some information on Stephanie. I'll work on that this week. Um, there's a few people I can talk to and get some information without getting her in trouble because she can get in trouble too. Don't want to have that happen. Anyway, guys, watch these videos, do your own research, make up your own mind. That's all I ask you to do. That's all I ask you to do. Y'all be safe out there. I'll see you again next week. Until then, adios.